Hello, and welcome to the Math 0361 Practice Test 2 review. The first question would like us to rewrite the ratio in fractional notation and reduce. But before we can do that, we have to take a look at $2. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but $2 is the same as 40 nickels. And you can figure that out if you were to do 200 divide 5. Well, anyway, once establishing that, to do 8 to 40, you just do a fraction, 8 over 40. And 8 over 40 does reduce to 1/5. For question 2, you'll notice 18 dogs to 27 cats. So put 18 on top, 27 on the bottom, and guess what? 18 and 27 does reduce. It reduces to 2/3. So 2 dogs on top and 3 cats on the bottom. Number 3 would like us to solve the proportion. Whenever you have two fractions separated by an equal sign, the best way to solve the proportion is something called cross multiply. Here's what cross multiplying looks like. First, this x will multiply to 12, which is 12x. Then, this 10 will multiply to 6. 10 times 6 is 60. We have 12x equals to 60. Finally, divide both sides by 12, and 60 divide 12 is 5. Let's try it again for number 4. First, the x will multiply to 12, which is again 12x. Then 3 will multiply to 36. 3 times 36 is actually 108. And once again, divide by 12. 108 divide 12 is 9. Okay, so in number 5, we have a fraction, 1/4. And we want to do two things. We want to change it to a decimal, and we want to change it to a percent. Let's do decimal first. Decimal, if you want to do fraction to decimal, you just have to divide. And you can put this in the calculator. Just do 1 divided by 4, which is equal to 0.25. Now, if you want to do a percent, it's easier to work percents from decimal. All you do is 0.25 times 100. That should give you, or will give you, 25%. Alright, question 6. We have a decimal and we want to change it into a percent and change it into a fraction. Changing it to a percent is easy. You just multiply by 100. So 0.3 times 100, 30%. There's your percent. Now, fraction, this is different. Alright, notice 0.3. When you set up the fraction, put 3 on top. On the bottom, I'm going to put 10. Why 10? The reason is there's only one number that comes after the decimal. If there are 2 numbers, I would do 100. If there are 3 numbers, I would do 1,000, and so on. But since there's only one number, I just do 10. Why 10? Because 10 has 1 0 in it. Okay, question 45. 45 is a percent, and we want to change to a decimal and a fraction. Let's do decimal first. You remember earlier, to change decimal to percent, we multiplied by 100? Well, if you want to go percent to decimal, this time divide by 100, which is going to give you 0.45. And now for the percent. Not for the percent, the fraction. First put 45 on top. But because there's two numbers after the decimal, in the bottom I'm going to write 100. This is technically the answer, but we can divide by 5 in order to reduce. 45 divide 5 is 9. 100 divide 5 is 20. So 920. Okay, so a 12-ounce iced tea at a restaurant has 108 calories. How many calories are there in a 21-ounce iced tea? Watch this. Let's look at the first sentence again. 12-ounce iced tea has 108 calories. So let me do 12-ounce over here and 108 over here. Next I see 21 ounces. I got to put that somewhere. I'm going to put it under the 12. Why? Notice ounces are with ounces. So I'm going to do a little X here. And when I put a couple lines in the equal sign, it looks like a fraction. Let's cross multiply and get some answers. So first of all, 12 multiplies x, so that's 12x. Then next, 21 multiplies to 108. Hang on, I actually got to put that in the calculator. Let's see. It's a big number. 2,268. And when you're done, divide by 12. And after you do that, you should get 189 calories. Alright, dealing with percents is and of. Here's a formula I like to show you that's probably going to help us out a lot here. It goes is over of equals percent over 100. Let's start putting the numbers in and doing a lot of cross multiplying. Alright, first thing I see, 15%. Oh, well, that's obviously a percent, so let's write 15. And that's going to go over 100. What else do I see? Ooh, I see is 90. So 90 goes on top. And I also see of what? I don't know what of is, so I'll put x in the bottom, like so. But what you do see are two fractions separated by equals. Cross multiply. 15 times x is 15x. 90 times 100 is 9,000. And finally, divide by 15. So you should get 600 out of that. Alright, let's do the same thing. So, right away I see 7.2 is. So that means 7.2 is going up top. I see 16%. Well, there's our percent right there. Of what? Of what? I don't know. Let's put x in the bottom. And underneath the 16, let's do 100. Cross multiply again, and we got another good answer. 16x is 16x. 7.2 times 100 is actually 720. And then let's divide by 16. And when you do that, you're actually, let me double check that. Let's see, 720 divide 16. You get 45. All right, question 11. 4.8% of 130 is what? Well, there's our percent, 4.8, so let me do 4.8 on top. In fact, I'll do it on top of 100. 130 is the of, so that's going in the bottom. And is what? Meaning, I don't know what is. So, let's cross multiply and see what happens. 100x is 100x. 130 times 4.8, let's see what that is. Let's see, 130 times 4.8. That is 624. And finally, divide by 100. So x would equal to 6.24. Okay, a woman earns $2,300 per month and budgets $391 per month for food. What percent of her income is spent on food? Okay, one formula that we dealt with for percents was the is and the of. But what if you didn't have is or of? Well, here's something that's a little more universal. Part over whole equals percent over 100. Part of her budget is food, and the cost for that is $391. Her whole budget is her entire paycheck, which is $2,300. Percent, I'm going to write x because that's what we're trying to find out, and 100 is 100. But nonetheless, cross multiply and we'll be finished. So first, 2,300 times x is 2,300x. 391 times 100 is, well, it's 39,100. And then finally, divide by 2,300. And let's see what the calculator has to say about all this. $39100 divide 2,300. X equals to 17%. So as of right now, that concludes part 1 of our 361 practice test review. Go to our website and tune in to part 2. Thank you.